Good evening. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. Let me introduce Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
All right.
Asshole.
Hi.
And I am RisenLadyHeathen. I've got an interesting article to share with you later on in the show, but first, let's dig right in with it's not lazy young people.
Yeah.
What is not lazy young
We've all been listening to the idiot rethugs babbling about how nobody wants a job and we have to cut off the unemployment benefits so that people will get desperate and go back and try to get jobs.
That's what I want touching my food. Desperate and angry people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, God. Anyway, so that's been their standard mantra. They've done it in a bunch of their states. By the way, if you live in one of those states where those rethug assholes did that,
Move.
yeah, move, quit, vote against them. But hey, anyway, so that's been the thing the whole time. It's just lazy millennials don't want to go back to work. Of course, it's Gen X and Gen Y and Gen Z, or excuse me,
want to have discussions.
Gen Z they're talking about anyway.
Yeah.
I just, except none of it's true. So last month, there were 3.6 million fewer Americans who wanted to be in the labor force as compared to November of 2019, right? Older Americans age 55 and up account for 90% of that number.
Wow.
90%.
Wow. So you older people decided that you didn't like being stepped on, so you decided to either get new or better jobs or retire.
Gotta have running drugs because you're invisible cops.
That is intriguing,
Don't run drugs,
interesting,
the internet,
and extremely funny that you all want to yell at the rest of us for ruining your life when you try to go get dinner. No, fuck you,
Anyway.
fuck you, fuck you.
The jump in the stock market, the jump in property prices and so forth, helped a bunch of folks who wanted to retire.
Good.
And they walked away. Excellent. More power to them. Enjoy your time off.
No, I think
Maybe
that's
someday I
wonderful.
will.
But I really think that everybody else needs to shut the fuck up and stop blaming millennials and Gen Zers for this.
Oh, but it's so
ridiculous.
much easier, right? I mean, that's the whole thing about the rethug mentality, is pick some simple story, whether it's true or not, and just tell it to everybody inside.
You know what? If this kind of thing continues, we're going to have to do another boomer versus millennial episode.
Can I be the millennial this time around? Anyway.
No, I
No,
definitely
and,
think we should stop thinking any generation had it easy.
Yeah.
Easier,
because our
and yeah,
parents worked
sure,
hard, yeah.
absolutely. Not going to argue that. Right, and that's really what the disconnect and the anger stems from, is we're not saying we want it to be easier, we just want you to let the rope back down and stop throwing rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should definitely do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a much
So,
better
anyway,
The thing about housing market?
We can talk about the housing market
that's
later because there are
really gross.
reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
So with 11 million job openings, you would think that companies would be raising wages or improving working conditions or benefits or whatever.
Nope.
And they just aren't doing it. So it's
Stock
really
buybacks.
simple. Right? If your company is working shorthanded because they can't hire people and your job is harder than it used to be, go tell your boss you want a raise. And when he tells you no, hit the door, because there are 11 million open jobs you can go apply for.
Yeah, and don't forget to drop the F-bomb on your way out because fuck these people.
No, you get them now. They broke the social contract first. That actually protected merchants wildly more than the people they employed. Get your new job set up and leave them at the absolute most critical time when it will stress their already stressed pieces the most.
Oh yeah,
And
so
if they fail to
get
pay
your
you
new
your
job.
last paycheck, take them to small claims court
Yep.
and report them to the National Labor Relations Board.
Right.
Talk to your
And then
labor
insist
board in
that
your
it
own
be
state if
charged as
they.
a felony, which it is.
So here's what we're proposing you do. Get your new job, all
Yeah.
right? Say I'm going to start working in 2 weeks. That gives you 2 weeks to figure out the prime time to say, fuck this noise, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, I'm out, and walk out in the middle of a shift. Do it, people.
Nope, I'm not the one for a scene. I just
You don't
block
have to make
the
a scene.
work
Just walk out the
numbers.
back door and just don't show up one day. Whatever,
Okay.
however you decide to do it. But
And again, the majority of my life was spent doing contracting work, so that was at least kind of expected.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there's a reason why they don't get shitty like this with the security kids.
Yeah. So one more thing, if your company, the company that you own and run, can't create jobs that people want, just declare bankruptcy and walk away. We don't need you.
mm-hmm.
So,
I agree.
yeah.
No, fuck this shit.
Yeah. And this is headed in a good direction. We're going to see more unions. We're going to see more job actions. And we will eventually, especially with 3.6 million folks over the age of 55 leaving the job market. Yeah, I'm sorry. Salaries are going to go up.
Yeah.
Right? Because real companies have to have real employees.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, and the real
And so
companies I know,
if your
isn't even the
company
shit
is
they're
suddenly
arguing
hiring
about.
people for more than they're paying you, walk out the door.
No, the real
Ask them if
companies
they want
I
to
know,
hire an experienced person for a little more.
Yeah, no, the real companies I know are staring at what's coming, going, "Oh shit, there's no one to recruit out of." And the smart ones are already looking at how can I build a center of gravity for the skill sets I think I need.
Right. Well, and that's the origin, and it's about goddamn time. But that's the origin of a number of famous big companies being very open to LGBTQ employees and doing everything they can to recruit them, and they're not great at it, right? But they're trying. So anyway,
You're telling me we're gonna send the aerospace and murder engineers to try and recruit? Yeah, they're not good with people. They made a fucking knife missile. They have a completely different view of how interacting with humans should work.
No, and I a little bit apologize. I'm pretty riled up, but you'll understand when I get to my
yeah,
final.
okay, cool. So what else we got going on?
What's going on with Antifa did it? Who
Yeah,
is
of course.
claiming this now?
Now, of course.
This is good. I saw this and I was like, I
love
can't wait.
Because, Fox News is now the Tucker Carlson network, right?
Oh, of course.
Which- just silly.
No, they lost Tuesdays.
yeah.
The last of the even pretending to be news
Yeah.
kids.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it's anyway, it's just wonderful. But Tucker Carlson and all those other Fox folks, right, were doing everything they could to minimize the importance of the violent insurrection against the government of the United
course.
States on
Of
January the
course.
6th. But one of the other lies they pushed, right, was that it was Antifa that did it. Or that,
Got to be careful of those Antifa people that don't really exist,
I
but
know.
maybe kind of sort of a
As
little
if you
bit
can't
if you
tell with
quit
the
and look
MAGA hats
sideways.
No, I fucking love this.
cosplay uniforms and
No, this
idiot
is
beards.
right out
and
of the 90s.
Right.
This is, they're confusing it with Black Bloc anarchists.
yeah, just ridiculous.
And Black Bloc is a tactic, and the anarchist was who was doing it in the 90s against the WTO.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson and some other folks had picked out a very specific person that they thought was a provocateur who wanted to make Trump and the maggot movement look bad. Yeah, and he was really easy to identify because he was wearing red face paint, and he was a provocateur. And they were right. What they were wrong about is he's a maggot. So anyway, St. Louis police knew him. They knew exactly who he was.
He's a MAGA guy?
big time maggot. But he was also on his social media sites. He was really pushing the idea that the Capitol riot was a setup.
Oh no, aren't they now saying that it was done by the FBI? That's the new argument.
He was
FBI
one of
did it.
those they were saying was a government provocateur. It's just as silly as
Again,
it can be.
only
Now,
one I
one
care
of the
about.
I
lawyers.
love how they point at their own dudes and they're like, no, he's one of them. He's not one of us. And he's sitting there like, no, I'm totally one of you. And yes, the FBI did it.
It took forever for them to figure out the guy in charge of is it the Proud Boys?
Whichever
Whoever it is.
one
The
was an
one that's a
informant.
snitch, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't snitch the internet.
So
Maybe a
anyway-
Fed snitch. That's gross.
No, I think it's fabulous.
Yeah.
One of the lawyers was really pushing the idea that this Mr. Red Face maggot was a provocateur and so forth, and continued to after it was proven that he wasn't.
Ooh,
And he said, well, it doesn't have to be true just because I'm using it to defend my client. Clown, you said it in court.
I hope a judge just
I hope a judge takes his license.
Walked him dry. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
So anyway, just fuck him up.
No, it's splitting a hair because that's a little different than Fox News putting forward the argument that no sane human would believe pick a wackadoo, or Rachel Maddow when she used that defense. Fine, but that's different. Lawyers can't lie. Like, there's a bunch of rules. That's why they have to go to like the special school.
Yeah.
No, the lawyers cannot.
The difference is some of them went to a real special school like Yale or Harvard, and some others appear to have gone to a real short bus school.
I would point out every son of a bitch trying to burn America down went to an Ivy League school.
Agreed.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We'll get to some names. And
Holloway went to Stanford and Yale.
Yeah.
Cruz went to Harvard.
I think so.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but they're not the buffoons. So
fine, but
anyhow,
They were
No, I
involved
find
in
it
this
amusing.
debacle. They
I
were
have no
involved in
doubt
it's
others.
all yeah.
this guy's lawyer didn't go to those Ivy League schools and that one in Pennsylvania. How the fuck is that's what I want to do a deep dive on. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but someone should.
Oh no, what do I have to do a deep
How
dive
the
on
fuck
now?
did the University of Pennsylvania end up in the list of Ivy League schools? It's serious. I know. Every time I look at the list of
That'd be like saying the University of New Hampshire.
but
It's the Ivy
it's
League.
the Wharton School, and that's the best of
No,
it.
it's like the
Oh my god.
And I'm not,
Sad.
I don't care. I haven't been particularly impressed with I've had way more fun with Georgia Tech and MIT kids than I ever had with Ivy League kids.
yeah.
No, Ivy League kids are stuffy and ugh.
Well, and
They're
they
miserable, just like their parents. They're
the ones
just
who are
miserable little beings.
worth talking to. They know that it's going to cost $20,000 worth of parties. It's a social network building.
Yeah, I know,
experience
and that's
for them.
why it's just insufferable. But
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
what the fuck?
One of these things is not like the
No,
others.
no.
That's
that
like
is
claiming
ridiculous.
Massachusetts is part of
Yeah,
New
but
England.
just so you guys see what he just showed me, Ivy League schools, and the first thing that pops up is says from sources across the web, Harvard
Yep.
University,
I fucked on their
Columbia
campus. They have Ivy.
University,
Columbia.
Yale University, the University of Pennsylvania, Cornell University, Princeton University, Brown University, and Dartmouth. What the fuck, Pennsylvania? How the hell did you get on that list?
Like,
holy
comment,
shit.
subscribe. We might someday find out.
Yeah, that could be worth.
Or just send me.
I expect if you Google, how did University of Pennsylvania become quote Ivy League?
I think
Bet
it
you'll get
involves
some
a lot
interesting
of
stuff.
exchange of
yeah.
money
Something.
and
They had a
yeah.
bunch of third and fourth born kids who were too dumb to stuff into another school, no matter how many libraries you bought.
Oh boy! All right. So what's you said next time?
Yeah.
What's going on with next?
So we
time?
were talking about this a minute ago.
Okay.
WAPO's Dana Milbank looked at that 38-page PowerPoint on how to, overthrow the United States, and worries that the next one might not be a failed attempt
Yeah.
on the
yeah.
part of the rethugs,
History
right?
supports that.
It suggested Trump announce a national security emergency, declare electronic voting in all the states was invalid, and throw those ballots into the legislatures to come back with a Trumpist
Yeah.
slate of electors and so on.
Right.
But he points out, and again, this is Dana Milbank, and I just love this quote. He says, "Not for the first time, we are reminded that American democracy was saved by Team Trump's buffoonery. They had the will, possibly the means, to overthrow the 2020 election. But the would-be coup attempt was carried out by clowns. Sidney Kraken Powell, that My Pillow guy, Rudy Giuliani.
Now, can I just say that people do not really understand. We were a phone call away from Trump stealing this presidency. Legitimately, one phone call. And that would have been the end.
Describe which phone call?
No, I'll have to look it up again, but...
Okay. No, we were saved by the fact that Trump is unwilling to give the order to seize power. Thank God.
Well, and that he had clowns working for him.
The FBI has a list of the kids that aren't clowns, the kids they're afraid of. He could have gotten that easily. That's the kids you put a signal message to or pick 12 ways they're easy to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Again, no, if they had taken Pence or his family, I don't know what happens, and no one else does. We've never had that. We're going to... yeah. And after that, America gets really weird when something happens. I remember what we were like on 9/11. I don't know what we were like when Kennedy died, but I don't know how much we're the same country we were.
Yeah.
Because, right, Twitter wasn't around to do guesses at, oh, I saw 1 million people on the grassy knoll, all of them with machine guns.
Yeah, that's...
Look, here's somebody completely uninvolved from a photo not here.
Yeah.
So, no,
Yeah.
I agree, it was scary close.
No, and I could be over exaggerating. It might have been more than a phone call, but there was not much. And you know what? We can do a deep dive on it sometime.
Sure.
How close did Trump get?
There's a whole 38-page
And what are the
PowerPoint
things-
presentation on how it should have gone.
What are the
those-
things that fell through that kept it from happening? We can-
No, and I think he probably had Roger Stone telling him, no, I know exactly how this works. Let me get a riot going with some, kids.
Yeah.
Literally the only paid rioters we have to talk about. But,
Yeah.
and get it to the Supreme Court. And I think they expected the Supreme Court to more actively weigh in. But...
Would have been interesting.
Yeah, I am... That's a genuine concern. We shouldn't snicker at the people who were concerned that an attempt to take power...
Well, no, I'm snickering at the buffoons.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I probably should have mentioned this sooner, but I have a short thing to share with you all before my big whatever. But woman was fired after big tip debacle.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but
Yeah.
So a group called $100 Diner Club tipped two women $4,400 at the Oven and Tap restaurant in Bentonville, Arkansas. When the group leader Grant Wise, a real estate agent, told Ryan Brandt that she was getting a $4,400 tip to share with her coworker who had gone home early because she wasn't feeling well, she began to cry and was overwhelmed by the generosity of the group. The $100 Diner Club is known for going out for dinner, and each person kicks in $100 for the tip. In this particular instance, they had promoted that they were going to be doing this on their social media, and had many people send money in to add to the total, which is how the tip got so big. Brandt's excitement was short-lived. As soon as the Diner Club left, the shift manager of Oven and Tap forced the woman to give them the money so it could be divided with the rest of the staff, and was informed she would only be taking 20% of the total home.
Oh, that boss would have gotten such a nice plaque, too.
Brandt said she's never previously been made to share tips.
It's illegal to make people share tips.
When Brandt contacted Wise to explain what happened, Wise was incensed. She had specifically called the restaurant ahead of time to make sure any tip, no matter the size, would go directly to their server or servers. And so she contacted Oven and Tap to get the money back, and then outside of the restaurant handed it back so that Brandt and her coworker would have no more issues, right? So Brandt alleges that when her company discovered that she was the one to contact Wise, they fired her. Oven and Tap owners claim that this is untrue. However, it seems very suspicious to me. And they would not give a reason for why she was fired. So, of course,
I wouldn't either.
We know what's going on.
That's the kind of thing that makes your lawyer punch you in the kidneys.
Brandt has a new job, and Wise has a GoFundMe set up Wise plans to have another $100 diner club meeting that Brant will be a part of, and any excess money from the GoFundMe campaign will go to the next group of servers
Hell yeah.
for the next time they go out for dinner. The owner of Oven and Tap says, and I quote, "We recognize and regret that a recent incident in our restaurant could have been handled differently
Already so many more words.
by reminding our team how we would be splitting any tips prior to the event. Tip sharing is a common restaurant industry practice.
It's illegal as
that
shit in most
we
states.
follow to ensure all of our team members are adequately compensated for their hard work."
Your tip workers.
Hey,
bullshit.
clown. Maybe if you paid them.
Oh no.
So, anyway.
No,
That's
Love
not the
that
American
story.
way.
no.
No, that's yeah. I saw that a couple days ago and just what the actual fuck?
Yeah, no, this is fucking insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Well, and the corporate statement is why you need 4 words there. We fucked up, comma. Sorry.
Yep.
No, but like the fact that they, first of all, tried to take the money from her, and then second of all, fired her over, being told they couldn't spread out the money. I mean, this is absolutely insane. And this is part of the reason why workers are leaving in droves
Absolutely.
the service industry.
Yep.
Because exactly things like this, where people are trying to do good things by tipping, this is becoming more common, right? People tip $5,000, whatever. This is becoming a common thing for people with excess money to try to help out those who need it.
I'm perfectly fine with them helping out, but I don't believe they should need to.
No, and that's
I think we
that's,
need to redistribute a
the
little
other
bit of
problem.
income here.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not comfortable with that, tough luck. You deserve the country you're going to live in if it doesn't happen.
Cool, but there isn't
and
like
you won't like
snarky
it.
smartass 2 we can go hide on. We're gonna burn in the same world they are.
Yeah.
No, one thing I
Oh,
want
I'll still
to-
be a snarky smartass.
Oh yeah.
One thing I want to encourage everyone who listens to this podcast: tip well, because your servers are not being paid a living wage.
I know.
So, and none of this bullshit of, oh, well, I'm only going to tip whatever. I will never tip less than 20% unless this server has absolutely gone out of their way to fuck with me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then maybe they'll get a 10% tip.
Well,
but
and really, the
you
only
really
thing
got to
the
try to
server
piss
is in
me
charge
off.
of is drinks. That's all they've actually got power on.
Yeah.
Where's my food? I don't know. The cokeheads in the kitchen haven't said it's done
No,
yet.
it takes a lot for me to not
Yeah,
give
no.
minimum
Yeah.
20.
But again, this may also be that you and I at least have experience in the food industry,
That's true.
and
No, I
the
know.
servers aren't doing anything to you.
No.
Like, unless you're running out of drinks and they're not around, like, that's kind of the only thing you can really be
Well,
like,
and
oh,
even
the
still,
server was the problem.
It doesn't bother me if
Oh, yeah.
because they're running other tables.
I'm just thinking
they're
of the-
out back
when
having a
people talk
smoke,
about-
they're going pee. I
Right,
don't
their
care.
problem being mostly something about the food. The server didn't make your food.
Nope.
Somebody coked out in the back room who's getting paid $18-ish an hour
Oh yeah.
got your order fucked up.
Yeah,
'cause
and
they can't read.
you are not hurting the person if you have bad food.
Yeah.
Who made your food?
No,
by
they don't give a
not
shit about your
tipping well.
tips.
When I graduated, I was interviewed by a company that made, by a fair margin, the most aggressive offer. But as part of that offer, they took us out to dinner in an expensive restaurant, particularly good, but it was expensive.
That's the worst goddamn part about where this is going.
I know, it's so sad.
It's just the hoity garbage again.
Yeah. No, I've had better food in mom and pop restaurants.
I know. No, it's when they destroyed the word gourmet
Yeah.
into meaning little weirdy fusion garbage. And like, I don't know what you're talking about, and that's not appetizing.
You mean
No, this would have been
aperitifs?
simple enough, right?
No, I mean the garbage shitheads who the people who are reimagining
Oh, the
things.
small plate tapas.
Yeah.
Tapas. Small plate
Right.
tapas.
So that one's specific to India. So no, I don't have a problem with that. I expect that when I go to an Indian.
Oh yeah,
joint.
no.
Yeah.
But I'm saying places that aren't Indian,
Yeah.
right, are doing that.
Uh-huh.
So they're charging you $20 for 4 little pieces of.
Yeah, I already know
Slider or
I'm paying
something,
wildly
like a
more than
burger.
you did for this food, and I'm fine with that. I understood that before I got in the goddamn car.
I know.
But when I go there and it's like, oh, 3 carrot sticks, and I don't know, something sneezed on my crackers.
So anyway,
It's a little
during the
disappointing.
course of the dinner, the executive they had sent down to interview me and make the deal because they wanted me.
Yeah.
It was mean to the waitress.
Oh, shit.
And so I told him I'd have an answer for him in the morning. And before we got to the car, we had decided there was no chance on earth I was going to take that job.
Oh, God, no.
So anyway, it,
No, that's
being
why-
bad to a waitress can cost you things you wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, did you send an email being like, considering the way the gentleman who was at dinner with me the other night treated our waitress, I've decided not to.
No, I told my contact at the company that his boss had been cruel to a waitress and I would not be coming to work for them.
Fair. As long as you told somebody that was the reason why, that makes me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I liked the guy I would have been working for,
Right.
but not with that boss. So
Yeah, don't be
That's
rude.
why you
Don't be
can't
rude to the
can't
wait
tolerate
staff.
toxic bosses. The
Nope.
numbers
No.
support. It costs 150% the salary of your worker to get a new one.
yeah,
It is never worth it to lose a worker unless they are actively a problem.
Yep.
And if they're a problem, odds are you've done something to them, you or one of yours.
or they're in the wrong job.
Yeah, that's perfectly
Yeah,
fine too.
that happens.
But the majority of times I've seen a coworker who was actually a problem.
Yeah,
Management had done something.
had done something. Yeah,
Right,
They had
promised
brought it
something they
on
couldn't do,
themselves.
whatever.
yeah,
But there had never been any like, oh man, I'm so sorry. Like that thing we talked about, I can't make that happen. And,
Yeah,
like,
these
as soon as I
people-
can, like I've got it. Keep reminding me. There's none of that.
No, they've got a chip on their shoulder because management did something inappropriate or lied or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And- no, and I'm gonna be honest. I've got 20-something years experience in management. Do you know how many different places I've gone to and been trained in management and how to manage? And do you know how many places lost me because they did not take the next step that I kept saying, hey, I need to do the thing. Hey, can we step this up a bit? I want to keep going. And no, they wouldn't follow through, so fuck
Yeah.
you. I left. But, I mean, seriously.
Well, it's when we made a switch over from leadership to management. Right. As soon as there started being a corporate process and 12 other things and all the steps in the way of the person who's nominally in charge of the humans doing the thing.
Mhm.
That human, like, yeah, they probably shouldn't be able to give the whole ass store away, but they do need wild, like, as much power as you're comfortable giving them and then some.
Right, and to overlook, an employee, because I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
there's many other people out there like
Yeah.
me who have this kind of experience. You just keep getting fucked because businesses keep saying, oh, don't worry, we'll do the thing, we'll do the thing, we'll do the thing, and then they don't do the thing. So we're
Right.
like, fine, moving on. I'll find the next company. Someone will eventually give me what I need.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous.
Which is literally part of capitalism, but we pretend it's not.
Right.
And are we now surprised that there are 11 million open jobs?
No.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit. It doesn't shock me at all.
Yep.
And it annoys me when I'm in Florida and I go out to dinner, with my parents or whatever, and, maybe it's a little slow and,
Yeah.
the owner comes over and says stupid things like,
Oh, yeah.
well, we're having a hard time keeping wait staff. And part of me really wants to look at them and be like, what are you paying
Yeah,
your
wait
wait
staff
staff?
are the
How do you
easiest.
treat
Obviously,
your
they
wait
don't want a
staff?
job in your restaurant.
They are
Um,
absolutely the easiest employee pet to keep.
I was particularly annoyed because we went to a place that I particularly enjoy, and the owner came over. There was a new kid, and he was a teenager, and he was in training, for busing.
God damn it.
And he came over and he said horrible things about this kid to me and my parents. And my parents are
Fucking
older.
scumbag.
So they kind of were like, oh yeah, no, it can be hard. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, no, how dare you? No, this kid's doing the best he can. He's only been here for a few days. Shut the fuck up. I was so mad.
Doesn't even
I
know
will never-
everyone's name yet.
I loved that place. I will never go back there again because
Yeah.
of how he treated that busser.
That is exactly
Oh
the
my
appropriate
God.
response.
No, that
It's
Mexican
not
joint
okay.
we went to with Jinzar the last time. Like, with that sign about workers are lazy and stupid. And
I
Oh,
nearly
that was
drove away.
infuriating.
no, exactly. And why, man? Like, and you could have written the sign so much simpler. And I know we've done this bit before.
Yeah.
Of, you don't have to be shitty about it.
Yeah.
Just
No,
explain.
it's just enough. We're looking for good. We're looking for good employees.
Dude,
If
it's
you'd be
high-
interested
yeah.
in
And please be
working
polite
here,
to our
tell
employees
the
that are
person at
working
the
hard
window.
now.
Yes. absolutely.
Due to the high standard that we demand of our employees, something. Yeah, there's a way to make this better.
Yeah.
Because it never looks good punching down. And if you're in charge enough to put a sign up at a business, you're wildly too in charge to be calling anyone lazy.
Agreed. So you said you have a Michigan school shooting update. It looked pretty big. Tell me about this.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, we had said yesterday 9 juveniles have been charged so far with threats against Muskegon County schools.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway,
Damn you, the copycat.
all the students at the Oxford Community Schools are home for the rest of the week following additional threats of additional violence.
Oh, stop.
The sheriff has cleared all the buildings as safe. However, tensions and concerns remain strong enough for the district to keep the buildings locked. And their solution is when the kids come back, they're going to ban lockers and backpacks.
How the fuck are you going to go through
Everybody had the same response. How are you going to run a school?
First of all,
Clear
without the
trash
locker,
bags.
how do you not have a backpack? Like I remember high school,
They're gonna get
60 pounds of books every day. What the fuck are you going to do with
Well,
them?
they'll need that. Enjoy Korea, Generation Z.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it'll be Venezuela, is my guess. But
Oh my God.
I
Just
know.
move. Everybody in that school system, just leave, just move, go
Yeah.
to a different school. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it's a genuinely stupid suggestion.
Yeah, no, that is idiotic. I mean, even in my school, when we were going through all those bomb threats, what they did was they set up metal detectors. So you would have to go through these metal detectors. I had a butterfly knife buried in the bottom of my purse that I forgot was there. Like, totally didn't even know it was there. Months of this, I was going through this, and then one day when I was home, I dumped my purse because I was looking for something, and out fell this butterfly knife, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
They walk through metal detectors.
Yeah, but what they would do is they would beep and they would wand me, and the purse I had this big metal ring on the front, so they'd be like, "Oh, it's just that, you're fine."
I know.
And I was like, "Oh."
And you can even have fun with this, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing, like, I don't know, your SWAT team probably isn't doing anything. Stationed in there, standing on milk crates with, like, the paintball, like, CS rounds.
Yeah.
Because just turn it into Call of Duty a hallway, because adults can just ignore it and children will freak out. Like, I've seen children get tear gassed and CS gassed, like, they don't enjoy it. I was a child who got CS gassed, and I did not enjoy it. But I did learn you can, like, it's fine, just ignore it. It doesn't, you're on fire, it's okay.
I wear a silver belt buckle.
Right.
And it's a fairly large piece of silver.
Yeah.
It turns out when you go through an airport metal detector,
Back before the cancer go-rounds.
you simply put your hand over it, right? And it's very casual because it's right near your waist and so forth.
Now they make you take your belts off.
Yeah.
So dumb. When again, for 2 years, they were terrified that somebody had put C4 behind a laptop screen, and we're going to use it as a blasting charge.
No, I absolutely.
I know, it's exactly what I'd be afraid of. That and the ones when they were talking about the ceramic.
I think that's what brought
Shrapnel?
down Leckerby was a laptop.
Yeah.
No, I hate flying
But
now.
it was
'cause-
placed in a critical place intentionally.
What they're talking about is
No, I hate flying now because, I literally feel like I have to undress in front of people.
I understand
because you
the
have to
kids who
take your
go through
belt
in
off, you
shorts
have to,
and like flip-flops.
you have to take your shoes. I always wear flip-flops when I go to the airport. I don't care if there's a foot of snow outside. I'm in flip-flops.
You're not going to trudge across much of a parking lot.
I don't travel enough anymore to still have those reflexes. So
No, it's
I'm
very
always the slow
frustrating.
guy.
And
Fucking
you gotta
slow,
have like
stupid boomer.
4 different buckets.
Oh, yeah,
you
no,
gotta
I-
take out your computer.
Yeah.
You gotta take out your reading device. You gotta take out your whatever. And oh my god, it's just such a pain
Nope.
in the
I
ass.
leave all my cigarettes and lighters in my wallet, in my wallet, except for my license and my boarding pass. I put my belt in my bag. Everything goes in my bag.
Yeah.
No, I think it's ridiculous because I go through with lighters,
Yeah.
handfuls of lighters. They don't give a fuck.
I
But
know.
if I have a little pocket knife, it's end of the world. Stupid.
No, and the number of things you could hide, the amount of explosives you would need. Airplanes are a bad idea. The only thing like less airworthy is a fucking hot air balloon.
No, one time I forgot to check a bag, and it had a big thing, $20 unopened thing of hand cream.
Yep.
And they fucking took it, and I was like, somebody better fucking use that. I will be pissed. I was so mad.
No, they do.
It was unopened. It was still sealed. It had the plastic on the cover and everything. And she was like, I'm sorry. I can't let you go through with this. Do you want to mail it? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't have time to go back through because it takes you an hour to get through. You get there 2 to 3 hours early, right?
Yeah.
It takes you an hour to get through. You're not leaving and coming back through.
Right.
No. TSA and DHS are those mistakes that, like, on 9/12, if, like, I had stepped through a big old portal and been like, hey, we're about to do some dumb shit, I would not have been surprised. Because, again, we're back to America doesn't make good decisions when startled.
Yeah.
Right.
We should just roll those kids into ATF and make doing background checks wildly easier and bring back the old luggage kids who stole literally half as much stuff.
So you got a climate weirding update?
Well, yeah, because, we just got over the tornadoes.
Weather weapons.
What?
Weather weapons.
Yes, don't be asked. That's right. So.
Strategic atmospheric injection.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know what? That's correct. And you know who did it?
I mean, we did.
Oil companies who pushed to say that there's no climate change. Don't worry. Everything's fine.
I'm still betting on Jewish space lasers.
I'm not.
Well, if you got them, you ought to use them for something.
Right?
They don't have them, so they're not using them for anything. I'm not playing this game tonight.
Okay.
Not in the mood.
Oh. But the whole concept is so funny. And I want one of the badges, but I'll get one someday.
Badges? I'm part of the Jewish space laser
It's their
program.
mission badge. Jewish space lasers, Mazel Tov.
Jesus.
You haven't seen that? I'll send you. I'll kick you the next one I see.
don't know.
Somebody Photoshop a yarmulke on the Hubble telescope.
Uh,
No, fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene does not know what the Hubble looks like.
I know. That's right.
So probably not a yarmulke.
No,
big old
Star of David.
Yeah.
She's obviously
You
never
got
seen Mystery Science Theater
Send her a-
3000.
Shit, send her one of those.
All right, as long as we're doing it. For a number of years now, if you look at the satellite imagery of the USA at night, there is a huge splotch of light in the northern USA. And so it's wonderful to get a copy of
FEMA
that
camps.
and send it to somebody and say, what's this?
Yeah, look at a map and,
And
tell
they
me
all
what
go,
the fuck that is.
oh, that's Chicago. I said, no, it's not Chicago.
Yeah.
That's Chicago. Well, it must be St. Louis. No, that's St. Louis.
And it really is. It's a huge
And they-
amount of light.
it's a huge
it's a
amount of
city
light.
worth of light, and your brain
Well,
really...
spread over an area much larger than Chicago, as an
Mhm.
example. And people look at that. And so anyway, I have literally told the maggots, I said, don't you understand? Those are the FEMA camps. And they go away vaguely believing those might be FEMA camps. And it'll be days while they're trying to figure out what the hell that is and so forth. It's the Bakken oil fields. Those are the gas flares and
Sure.
the Klieg lights. So anyway, but it's the first time you see it, your response, if you know anything at all about U.S. geography, your response is, what the hell is that? And it's enormous.
It's a funeral pyre for a shit ton of native girls, but...
Yeah, it's like 4 times the size of Chicago in each direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as bright as Chicago.
No.
Right? But it's very bright.
And it's in nowhere when you look at a satellite.
Yeah. So, anyhow, climate weirding. Half of the lower 48 now face a dangerous weather emergency today and tonight.
Yeah, they're
and
talking
into
more
tomorrow.
tornadoes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tornado warnings. I don't think anybody's seen a tornado yet.
No, but they're talking
If a
there
tornado-
might be more tornadoes, yeah.
If a tornado goes through a wind farm, do we get, like, ridiculous amounts of power?
No, when they get to a certain speed, the little generators go, oh, this is too scary, and they feather.
Lame.
So, anyway,
We should build big Tesla coils and zap the sky into...
So anyway, you've got, damaging winds, right? The potential for tornadoes and out of control fires and derechos. Derechos are the line winds that just lay things down.
Oof.
It was crazy windy here last night.
Yeah, it
Was it?
pretty, oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't aware of that, but it was. We were right on.
Oh, house rocks. So yeah,
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, you'd be aware.
it's nice.
Yeah.
Well, you
It's
can
like a
hear
pirate
it.
ship.
It sounds like a train going by the
Yeah.
trailer. It's crazy. The cats were all freaked out. Wade was just like, "Ugh."
Right, there's something big running under the house. That would freak me out too.
Yeah,
Yep.
he went outside barking his head off during a big gust, and part of me was like, just terrified he was going to get blown to the other side of the yard and
Oh,
not be
God.
able to get down.
I've only ever actually seen that be a real problem for turkeys because they can't get low enough to be small enough
Yeah.
to make their hollow ass bird bones.
Yeah.
I eventually convinced myself that worst case scenario, he would get on his belly and just
Yeah.
crawl back. And then I thought about it and I was like, the winds really aren't that bad. Like a human can stand up in them. So
Yeah.
a 4-footed dog, like that's
Who's
pretty close
lower to the ground? Yeah.
he'll be fine.
Being low to the ground really helps. Did anybody check to see if the chicken coop was right side up?
It was.
It is.
Okay, cool. Because that was the most fascinating thing. I mean, that was a derecho that did that.
Yeah.
Was just picked it up and turned it over.
Oh yeah, no, I was out in the garage and the dust came up so fast I couldn't see the house. And
Yeah.
it's 20, 30 feet maybe.
Yep. And it was not a dust devil. It was
Yeah.
a line wind. So anyway, they've had hurricane force winds in at least 7 states so far.
Jesus.
And the National Weather Service is calling it a historical weather day.
Wow.
Remember when we talked about climate weirding and
Yeah.
the old models of climate
yeah.
didn't work anymore?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what words like historical weather day are telling you is going on.
Well, the fact
Yes.
that we've had so
You ain't on the
many
climate.
of them back to back to back to back.
Well,
Every
the
year.
century doesn't work when they're every 5 years or
Right.
whatever.
So you got an Omicron update for us?
Sure. Oh, big thing, and we're going to keep covering it, but the big thing is Delta is still dominant in most European and certainly in the U.S. But Omicron is now 40% of the infections in London, and UK today hit a record. They had the highest number of people infected and hospitalized that they have had since the beginning of the epidemic.
Ooh,
Right, and that's with only 40% Omicron.
that's not good.
Well, they're going to have a very bumpy ride through the holidays. We will see how we do, but this
Well,
is
we
coming
already
on.
know it's out in the community, so
We know it's out in the community. We know that we have been going up sharply in the number of infections reported per day and so forth, and that's with Delta, and Omicron is much worse. Right, it displaced Delta in South Africa.
so we're looking at that happening here maybe pretty quickly. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Yeah,
right.
if that happens over the Christmas season, we are going to regret it.
Agreed. Keep those masks on. Get those boosters, people.
Yep.
All right. So I am super interested about this next one.
What?
If you hear hoofbeats, think zebras. What are we talking about? Explain this to me.
Asshole sort of remembers. The original thing is if you hear hoofbeats,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. This
think
is my
horses,
objection.
not zebras.
I'm curious why we're like abandoning a pretty good rule.
So
Weird lights in the sky aren't aliens. They're anyway.
two zebras escaped a farm in Maryland, and for about 4 months, they've been running around Maryland free.
Zebras on the lamb.
Zebras on the lam. Can you imagine looking out your window and seeing a zebra trot past, right? Now, it's kind of a bittersweet story, right? The 2 of them have been captured and they've been taken home, but they were originally a trio, and one of them got caught in an illegal snare trap and had to be put down. So, anyway.
Fuck you, illegal snare trappers.
No shit.
Shitheads.
Yep.
Poor zebra.
Anyway, I just thought it was amusing. It's kind of like watching the video of the emu that was loose in Phoenix
Yeah.
and they couldn't catch.
I've seen emails. I wouldn't want to catch one when they get all weird and their legs are going.
Yeah, I know. And
They
you've
have that
seen one
weird
attack
body
somebody.
wiggle. Yeah.
So That was a nice emu. I miss her.
That emu was just as surprised as everybody else when that shit went down.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, so.
All right.
Well, that's a lot of meat to be driven by a marble worth of brain.
Fair.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, brain size is not correlated to but
When she
I
came,
stared into the eyes of an emu. There's not a lot going on.
No.
when she came, she was sick and was very, very friendly, probably just too tired to react.
Yeah.
But she would cuddle and stuff. I
Yeah.
think she enjoyed the attention and the warmth. But as
everybody-
she got healthy, she got more and more independent and at least a little
All the things that
standoffish.
lead to a emu being taken out into the desert.
Yeah. So, which is where
Which
she
is
was
how the
from.
origin story starts.
Well, and didn't they find her with a lasso on her neck? So
Yep.
somebody had tried to rein her in, and she
Yeah.
got away.
That's the story I heard. I assume it's true.
Anyway, so I have an interesting article to discuss tonight. Abortion advocates are fighting back. So this
This is good. Yeah.
yeah, this is why I've been a little riled up tonight. So Politico's Alice Morena Olston wrote an article called "Quite Hopeful: Abortion Pill Decision Could Reshape Reproductive Health War." On Thursday, regulators are looking at whether to reverse or scrap a long-standing restriction on the abortion drug mifepristone. Mifepristone?
Yeah.
Okay. The hope is to loosen the rules that are already suspended due to the pandemic so that any doctor can prescribe mifepristone online and mail it to patients at home, even if Roe versus Wade gets overturned. Lori Shatton, an attorney working on the ACLU's case against the rules, stated, "We are quite hopeful because the science overwhelmingly supports lifting the restrictions. Now, the pill is only good for the first 10 weeks of pregnancy. So this is not a replacement for access to safe abortions past 10 weeks. However, it does give many more women options early on. But remember, most women don't even necessarily realize they're pregnant by 10 weeks. So, we got to keep that in mind. Texas joined other red states' bans on the pill by implementing a ban on mail delivery and online prescriptions. Anti-abortion movements are currently pouring energy and resources into pushing state legislatures and Congress to outlaw or restrict the pills, referring to it as one of their top priorities. Fuck these people. Because, fucking of course they are, right? Like, of course they are. Kristen Hawkins, and this is my terms, super bitch, and president of the group Students for Life of America stated, "It's clear that reckless change is in the works. We need to bring an end to chemical abortion." Her group is lobbying for limits on the pill and other abortion methods in over 30 states. Fuck this bitch. Patty Zettler, a professor at Ohio State University who specializes in FDA law, muses that it is unclear if state bans on access to medication deemed safe by the FDA are lawful. Now, this is not just the government trying to step in to stop you from getting an abortion. This is the government trying to step in to stop you from being prescribed medication that is safe and effective for you. This is medication. And if they can get in on this is very concerning,
Right.
and more people need to be worried about this.
This was always the stealth goal of the anti-abortion movement. The aborticants, because it doesn't stop fertilization, this was always the end goal.
With federal courts becoming more hostile to the rights of women seeking safe abortions, underground activists are working hard to get the pills into the hands of women that are going to need it the most. We're set up to do whatever's necessary, Rebecca Gompartz, the founder of Aid Access, asserted. Aid Access is an international organization that prescribes and mails mifepristone to people in all 50 states.
Yep.
So if you need access to the pill, Aid Access can get it to you. So please use them.
And the WHO will give you instructions.
Yeah. So remember, it is legal. It is safe. Do it.
Yep.
You
And
know,
good up to 12
do
weeks.
when the FDA first approved mifepristone during the Clinton administration, it came with a requirement that the pills were to be handed physically out by a doctor. That's ridiculous when I can get a dick pill online, no prescription needed, just in the mail, sent private, whatever. This is ridiculous. Cum Guzzler, this is my own statement here. Cum Guzzler Susan B. Anthony List President Marjorie Dan Flessler, whatever the fuck, I don't care what your name is, claims, if confirmed, Caliph will work hand in hand with Joe Biden, Xavier Becerra, and the radical abortion lobby to make every mailbox, post office, and pharmacy in America function as an abortion center. Fuck, wouldn't that be great?
It would be.
Fuck, that'd be amazing. I hope she's right.
And hopefully banks.
Oh my god.
I think the post office should get back into banking.
I think they should
Fuck
too.
this whore.
No, thank you.
Oh my god. On the morning.
Don't fuck the pro-life kids.
Oh. On the morning that the Supreme Court heard arguments on Roe, Kristen Mink, an activist, and other women stood on the steps outside the courthouse holding a banner reading, "We are taking abortion pills forever," and swallowed pills they claimed to be the abortion pill. None of them were pregnant, and they will most likely, if they have any reaction, it will most likely be mild. And it is a hormone blocking drug, so it's not going to cause them any harm at all or anything. But and the article goes on. It's a good read. I highly recommend, if you are an abortion rights activist, to
Go read the article.
Read this article. It's important. And again, it's called it's in Politico, okay, and it's called "Quite Hopeful: Abortion Pill Decision Could Reshape Reproductive Health War." And this is so important that people don't understand. They're not just trying to stop us from having access to abortions. They're trying to stop women from having access to safe, health, right?
Yeah.
Because not all women, it's not safe for all women to have babies. Yeah. It's not safe. And these people are talking, they want to ban if you have a baby in your fallopian tube, which is completely inoperable. You cannot save the baby.
Right.
They are forcing people to carry this, and that murders them.
It's not for us to
So we're
judge.
talking murder, okay? And this is just absolutely insane, and it needs to stop. People need to be more scared. Now, I was concerned when I heard about this Susan, because the article just referred to it as the SBA list. And I was like, what the fuck is the SBA list? So I Googled it, and it's the Susan B. Anthony list. Now, these are a group of women that claim to be women's rights advocates that are going out of their way. They're hiding themselves. Oh, yeah, we want rights for women, but no abortion for you, and no access to free and to safe health care.
These shitheads are the Sinn
ridiculous.
Féin to the bomb makers of the same community.
So just look up Susan B. Anthony list, okay? It's disgusting, and it's offensive to me that women are a part of this group.
Yeah.
It's offensive. I mean, just flat out.
This is part of the rethug war on women.
Yeah.
It's been going on for 20 years.
It's insane, and you can't, just because another woman tells you these things doesn't make it true, okay? And if you got a man trying to mansplain to you how your uterus works, I need you to take a step back and do your own fucking research, people. This is so important to understand what you're talking about. I mean, I didn't even know when I was a kid, they didn't properly teach us what a hymen is. And they didn't properly teach us how our vagina works. They said, here are the bits and pieces, here are the whatevers. Good luck. And it wasn't until I was a full-grown adult that I actually understood that a hymen isn't actually a solid piece of, whatever that covers your vagina and keeps guys from getting their whatever in. And this doesn't make sense, right? Because how was I having my period? And kind of sort of you make shit up in your head. You're like, well, maybe it trickles through and no, it's all bullshit. So please, please, please look this stuff up. The information is out there, but be careful because they hide themselves well.
No,
this Susan B. Anthony group hides themselves as a women's rights center. You're going to find abortion clinics that are not real abortion clinics. They're crisis clinics. And they're terrible. They're going to lie to you and try to convince you that you need to wait. You need to think about it until it's too late. And now you can't get an abortion. Yeah. This is terrible. They're preying on the poor, the underrepresented, and people who don't know any better, and it makes me just so infuriated. It's terrible. So please, 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 if you have any questions, I can do deep dives on anything. I don't care if it's reproductive, how reproductive health works, or how your body works, how a men's body works. If you have questions about this sort of stuff and you want to know more and you don't have the time to do the research, comment, like, subscribe, message me privately on the BoomerRex Facebook. I can certainly do this, and I can
Twitter.
I can mention your name or I cannot mention your name. I do want to tell you all, we do have a Twitter now. It's new. I just made it today, and it's at BoomerRexTonight. So that's the letter B, REXTONIGHT. There's actually somebody else who has at BoomerRex.
Wow.
So be careful. Yeah. There's others out there.
Also, Barnabas, fetch the vat of acid.
But it's funny because Twitter's the first place that I've actually stumbled across other people with similar, very similar names to ours. And it wouldn't let me take just Rex Tonight. Okay. So it's BoomerRexTonight. So, but that's our Twitter now. I've got Podbean sorted out. I'm trying to get us on Apple iTunes right now, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is that they do, and I'm trying to spread us out. So share with your friends. Again, keep up with us on the Facebook, and just know that we are here for you. We want you to get the right information, and that's our goal here when we do this show. Is to
as much fun as we have bitching about the just ridiculous maggot stuff.
We certainly will. We certainly do insert our opinions on things. However, all of our facts that we provide you are facts. We've looked them up. We've made sure that we're not just spouting nonsense to you. So because it suits our whatevers, we find the facts and then we'll comment on them. So again, we're here for you all. And we love you, and thank you for hanging out with us again tonight. We've had another wonderful night. Does anybody have any final remarks?
You do?
I got 2 whole things.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. One, I've got the thing in Oklahoma about the new law that's it's part of the war on critical race theory that unless you're in college, you're not learning, but sure. Yeah. It specifically bans teaching any part or component of the 1619 Project, which goddamn. It's not the scary thing you think it is, and there's a big chunk of that way to go, not America. So all those bills need to go to previous management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But any teaching that America had more culpability in general than other nations for the institution of slavery, that's at least an interesting argument for a class. That one race is unique oppressor in the institution of slavery here in America? Yeah, pretty much. That another race is unique victims in the institution of slavery? Yeah, pretty much. That in America in general had slavery more extensively or for a later period of time than other nations? That inarguably is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, these aren't... I don't understand. I don't understand like why we can't teach the kids the American legend, which is
Patriotism.
fine. Yeah, but
That's why. Because
I-
patriotism.
patriotism requires knowing stuff and loving your country for warts and all.
Agreed.
Nationalism requires you to not think
Oh,
about.
sorry. No, you're right. You're right. It's nationalism. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, and that's why
you are correct. Nationalism.
the problem is a load of nationalists are running around talking about how they the patriots and like, oh motherfucker, I promise you do not have that market cornered. But and the primary and overarching purpose of the founding of America was the initiation or perpetuation of slavery. I don't think we really thought about it all that much at all, which
No.
is like the bigger problem. But we were like, oh, 3/5, fuck it, done.
Yeah.
Next thing, none of that tea taxing garbage.
Well, remember, that was for establishing representation.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And designed to, anyway. No, just this one more thing designed to make dumber kids in Oklahoma, because that's what they fucking need. Those
Oh,
smart
God.
kids in Oklahoma. We need to cut that down. There's too many Oklahoma kids winning Nobel Prizes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there we are. And, yes, Alexei Zarov, I don't know. I'd punch your dad in the balls. He's a Duma member, and he wants to start a fight. So this whole story starts out because Arizona, God love it, Arizona representative. Yeah, I know his last name, Scaleo. I need his full name. Shit, demons. So he's an Arizona rep. Went to Ukraine. There we are. Ruben Galeo. Went over to Ukraine. All right, he's a former Marine. All this stuff. He was come back. He's been pushing Biden, give him more lethal tech. Like, there's some stuff we can do that doesn't make us go all in and hit reset on the human species over Ukraine, which I don't recommend. But we can make this a really expensive game, and like Special Ops is bored. We just took away their playground. Let's give them a snowy one. They said they can ski. And so this idiot in the Duma says that they should snatch him from wherever he is, throw him in one of their gulags, and if he survives in 25 years, they should ask him who it is they're going to have to kill. Because that was the final part on his quote was, it sadly means we're going to have to kill some Russians. And yeah, that's what that means. Now, they're mostly Zaslan teams and Spetsnaz at this point. They're the little green men. Fuck them. It's largely my feeling if you kill American special ops forces out in the world, they didn't do their planning right.
Agreed. Yeah.
And it's sad, like that time the Chinook got smoked in what became the movie Soul Survivor. Right? That was a lot of SEALs to put in the back of a Chinook for not a lot of reason.
Yeah.
But I understand the push. So, I don't... Russia's just high on its own supply right now, especially this guy. He represents the Ultra-Nationalist Party or some who fucking cares.
Fair.
But, so he makes this big statement about, we'll put him in jail for 25 years and blah, blah, blah. So fucking this guy, this representative, quotes it, like, on the Twitters. And his entire response is, fuck around and find out. Which I love.
yep.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played, buddy.
Russia, you don't want to have us find an elected representative dead in a pile of his own brass, which I think this guy might be that kind of dude.
Nice.
And dead-ass Ivans everywhere. Like, that's how... the Cold War didn't work out so good for you. What the hell makes you think a hot one will?
Fair.
Like, everybody dies, so don't. Again, the same reason I do not support like something big like putting the 18th Airborne Corps in the Ukraine, because, man, I really don't want Russia to take them, but I don't think Russia wants them. I think this is like Azerbaijan or Moldova, where Russia wants a part of them that they don't control, so it can make them more fucked up or not as it needs to, right? The history of Russia makes them so terrified of breakaway countries. I can understand it, but Putin's not the guy I'm willing to give a lot of benefit of the doubt to.
No, certainly not. So did you have something else? Or
No,
was it just... Oh, okay.
It was just fuck Oklahoma, and okay, I like this guy. I gotta see if I get to vote for him.
All right.
I don't think I do.
I don't think you do.
I think he's up in like Phoenix.
Yeah.
But still,
You'll have
that's
to wait
wildly
for
good.
next, yeah.
And good job, Arizona Democrat.
Yeah.
You want to start some shit with the Russians. So
Yeah, no, sounds good. Do you have, Mr. Rex, do you have any comments you'd like to
I'm
make
good.
before we say goodbye?
We're still looking for enough money for the pirate blimp.
Oh, God, yeah. No. I know exactly what we'll do with our pirate blimp. We will take women to places where they can get free and safe abortions.
There you go.
Yes. So we got your backs, people. So those of you who have money that want to help those of us who don't have money, I mean, I'm willing to mail out pills to any woman who sends me a private message
Oh my
and says
God.
I need a pill for nothing.
Can you imagine
do
a
it.
200-foot blimp coming down to the ground in Texas in the middle of the night? Right, you have to get the right lighting because people are going to go, "Oh my God, a spaceship!" and faint.
And suddenly a bunch of women run out of the woods and jump on, and then it
Yeah.
just slowly rises back
Yeah.
up. And there was a weird scene tonight in downtown. Whatever. No, so, oh, fuck, I'm all about it. Yes.
Yeah, well, we want one bigger than that, but yes.
Yes.
I found an image of a pirate airship. The internet. Don't worry.
It'll be amazing.
No, if we do it, we're going to put a row of lights around it that blink around.
But underneath the Jolly Roger, it needs to say yacht in quotes.
Yeah.
That's necessary.
And I think there's some rules about flying. Oh, it's not a flag. We'll have to look at the rules.
What?
There are some flags you can fly that'll get you fucked up, and deservedly so.
Yeah, okay.
But what if we also put...
Like, pirates don't get trials.
All right.
It's old school outlaw.
Well, it's the original meaning
Yeah,
of outlaw.
I know.
As in unprotected
Yeah,
by the
outside
law.
I got it. So instead of a human skull on the crossbones,
Yeah.
it's a T-Rex skull.
There you go.
I got it.
There you go.
Boomer Rex tonight. All right, so we love you all. It's been fun hanging out with you. We appreciate all of our new subscribers. We got at least 6 downloads already on our podcast. Awesome, keep it up. Don't forget to share with your friends, your family, your friends' friends. Like, comment, subscribe. If you are listening to us on Podbean, please take your time, if you have a few moments, to add yourself to us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so you can continually get updates.
There you go.
And also go back to our YouTube if you have a chance and like and comment and subscribe to us there. So there's so many different ways to get a hold of us now. No more excuses. So we love y'all. Have a great night. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night on Boomer Rex Tonight.
Yeah,
Good night,
no law. We
everybody.
can totally fly a pirate flag.